Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving deep into something that will take your English from simply good to genuinely impressive. 60 advanced phrases that will help you master nuanced English. These are the kinds of expressions that make native speakers sound natural, confident, and persuasive. The subtle touches that elevate conversations, presentations, and even casual chats. Now you might be wondering, why advanced phrases? Well, when you reach an intermediate or even upper intermediate level, basic vocabulary isn't the problem anymore. You already know how to say things like, I agree or I don't think so. But in real life, in interviews, meetings, or friendly debates, native speakers use far more precise, colorful, and impactful phrases. And that's exactly what you're going to learn today. By the end of this lesson, you'll have 60 powerful expressions at your fingertips, ready to drop into your everyday speech. Some of these will make you sound more persuasive. Others will help you disagree politely without offending anyone. And a few will give you that storytelling magic that keeps people hanging on every word. Here's the exciting part. You won't just hear the phrases. You'll learn exactly when and how to use them so they sound natural. For example, instead of saying, I think you're wrong, you might say, I see your point, but I beg to differ. Instead of, that's not important, you could say, that's beside the point. These subtle upgrades can transform the way people perceive you. Throughout the video, I'll group the phrases into categories: opinions, persuasion, polite disagreement, professional contexts, and storytelling, so you can focus on the ones most relevant to you. And to make sure you remember them, I'll give you clear examples for each, plus little tips on tone and cultural context. So grab your notebook, pause when you need to, and repeat the phrases out loud with me. The more you use them, the more naturally they'll flow. Whether you're preparing for a big presentation, a language exam, or just want to impress in conversation, these phrases will give you that extra edge. Ready to level up your English? Let's get started with the first set of advanced phrases, and you're going to love them. Expressing opinions with precision. When you're speaking English at an advanced level, it's not just what you say, but how you say it. If you want to sound nuanced and natural, you need a variety of ways to express opinions. Let's start with 7 phrases that will make your thoughts come across as polished and professional. From my perspective, this phrase is excellent for showing that your opinion is personal and based on your own experience. It's less direct than I think, and it invites other people to share their perspectives too. Example 1. From my perspective, investing. In renewable energy is not just good for the planet, it's also smart business. Example 2. From my perspective, this software update has made my work much easier. Mini dialogue. A. Should we launch the campaign this month or wait? B. From my perspective, we should wait until after the holidays. People are too distracted right now. Tip. Use this in discussions or meetings where you want to sound thoughtful and respectful of differing views. If you ask me. This is more casual and often used in everyday conversation. It's perfect when you want to share a personal take on something. Example 1. If you ask me, pineapple on pizza is the best combination ever. Example 2. If you ask me, that movie didn't deserve all the hype. Mini dialogue. A. I'm thinking of quitting my job without having another lined up. B. If you ask me, that's a risky move. Tip. Because it's informal, it works best in friendly settings, but you can also use it at work if you're speaking casually. In my honest opinion, adding honest emphasizes sincerity and sometimes signals that what you're about to say might be critical or direct. Example 1. In my honest opinion, the design needs to be completely reworked. Example 2. In my honest opinion, she's the most talented singer in the competition. Mini dialogue. A. Do you think the report is ready to send? B. In my honest opinion, it still needs a final proofread. Tip. Use carefully. If the feedback is negative, pair it with a constructive suggestion. Speaking for myself, this makes it clear you're not assuming everyone feels the same way. Example 1. Speaking for myself, I'd rather work from home 3 days a week. Example 2. Speaking for myself, I found the instructions a little unclear. Mini dialogue A. Do you think everyone will like the new schedule? B. Speaking for myself, I think it's a big improvement. Tip. Excellent for group discussions when you don't want to speak on behalf of others. The way I see it, this has a conversational, friendly tone and works well when offering suggestions. Example 1. The way I see it, we should focus on our existing customers before trying to attract new ones. Example 2. The way I see it, there's no harm in trying. Mini dialogue. A. Should we cancel the event because of the weather? B. The way I see it, people will still come. Just bring umbrellas. Tip. Perfect for problem-solving conversations. As far as I'm concerned, this phrase signals a firm stance. Example 1. As far as I'm concerned, honesty is non-negotiable. Example 2. As far as I'm concerned, that was the best meal we've had here. Mini dialogue. A. Should we make an exception for this client? B. As far as I'm concerned, rules are rules. Tip. Because it's decisive, use it when you want to sound confident and final. It seems to me that, gentle and diplomatic, this is great for sensitive topics. Example 1. It seems to me that the team is under a lot of pressure right now. Example 2. It seems to me that we could improve the website navigation. Mini dialogue. A. Do you think the EE plan will work? B. It seems to me that it has potential, but we need more testing. Tip. Use when you want to avoid sounding overly forceful. Category 2. Agreeing and disagreeing. Politely, advanced speakers know how to disagree without creating tension, and agree with genuine enthusiasm. Here are 7 phrases to help with that. I couldn't agree more. Example 1. I couldn't agree more. This is the right direction for the company. Example 2. I couldn't agree more with your point about work-life balance. Mini dialogue. A. I think we should invest more in training our staff. B. I couldn't agree more. You took the words right out of my mouth. Example 1. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was thinking the same thing. Example 2. You took the words right out of my mouth. I love that idea. 10. That's exactly how I feel. Example 1. That's exactly how I feel about keeping the project small. Example 2. That's exactly how I feel about traveling in the off-season. I see where you're coming from, but... Example 1. I see where you're coming from, but I think the risks are too high. Example 2. I see where you're coming from, but we might need more data first. 12. I beg to differ. Example 1. I beg to differ. The numbers suggest otherwise. Example 2. I beg to differ. That's not what the policy says. That's not quite how I see it. Example 1. That's not quite how I see it. Maybe we should check the facts. Example 2. That's not quite how I see it. I think the benefits outweigh the costs. We'll have to agree to disagree. Example 1. We'll have to agree to disagree. Let's move forward anyway. Example 2. We'll have to agree to disagree and revisit this later. Category 3. Making polite suggestions and recommendations. 15. Might I suggest? Example 1. Might I suggest a break before the next session? Example 2. Might I suggest using a smaller font for the footer? 16. Have you considered? Example 1. Have you considered switching suppliers? Example 2. Have you considered adding subtitles for international viewers? 17. It might be worth trying. Example 1. It might be worth trying a softer tone in the campaign. Example 2. It might be worth trying a different approach to scheduling. Perhaps we could. Example 1. Perhaps we could move the meeting to the afternoon. Example 2. Perhaps we could run a short survey before deciding. One option might be to. Example 1. One option might be to extend the deadline by a week. Example 2. 1. Option might be to split the project into 2 phases. What if we. Example 1. What if we hired a consultant to help us? Example 2. What if we combined both ideas? Handling disagreements gracefully. When you want to disagree in English without creating tension, the wording you choose is crucial. These phrases will help you sound respectful while expressing a different perspective. I understand your point, however. This is a perfect way to show that you've listened before offering your view. Example 1. I understand your point. However, our priority is customer safety. Example 2. I understand your point, however. We need to consider the budget limitations. Mini dialogue. A. We should roll out the product immediately. B. I understand your point, however. We still need to finish the safety testing. Tip. Pause slightly after however to emphasize the contrast. That's a valid point, but this works well when you want to acknowledge a strong argument while steering the conversation elsewhere. Example 1. That's a valid point, but we also need to address employee workload. Example 2. That's a valid point, but the market trends are shifting quickly. Mini dialogue. A. Cutting costs is the top priority. B. That's a valid point, but we must also keep our quality high. 3. I take your point, although slightly more formal, ideal for meetings or negotiations. Example 1. I take your point, although customer loyalty might be worth the extra investment. Example 2. I take your point, although the risks could outweigh the benefits. I'm not entirely convinced. Diplomatic way to express skepticism. Example 1. I'm not entirely convinced that automation will solve all our issues. Example 2. I'm not entirely convinced this is the right time for expansion. Tip. Often followed by a suggestion or question to keep the conversation open. I see things a bit differently. Soft disagreement that keeps the tone friendly. Example 1. I see things a bit differently. Maybe we could merge both strategies. Example 2. I see things a bit differently. Perhaps more research would help. X. Let's look at it from another angle. Encourages rethinking rather than contradicting. Example 1. Let's look at it from another angle. What about the impact on customer service? Example 2. Let's look at it from another angle. How will this affect our timeline? Have you thought about the possibility that? A polite way to challenge assumptions. Example 1. Have you thought about the possibility that the delay could actually build anticipation? Example 2. Have you thought about the possibility that customers might prefer the old design? Category 5. Persuasion and influence. These phrases are perfect for convincing others or emphasizing your points without sounding forceful. Chot. It's worth noting that draws attention to a key detail. Example 1. It's worth noting that sales increased after we lowered the price. Example 2. It's worth noting that most competitors already use this method. One could argue that keeps your statement objective and thoughtful. Example 1. One could argue that creativity is more important than efficiency at this stage. Example 2. One could argue that our success is built on customer trust. What makes this important is clarifies why something matters. Example 1. What makes this important is its impact on our long-term reputation. Example 2. What makes this important is how it will shape public perception. Let's not lose sight of keeps focus on the main goal. Example 1. Let's not lose sight of the fact that we're here to help customers. Example 2. Let's not lose sight of our core mission. The key takeaway here is summarizes your main point clearly. Example 1. The key takeaway here is that preparation beats improvisation. Example 2. The key takeaway here is that trust takes time to build. True. It stands to reason that logical persuasive connector. Example 1. It stands to reason that better training will lead to higher productivity. Example 2. It stands to reason that consistent branding builds recognition. If we weigh the pros and cons, shows you're making a balanced decision. Example 1. If we weigh the pros and cons, the benefits clearly outweigh the risks. Example 2. If we weigh the pros and cons, expanding now is still the better choice. Category 6. Professional and workplace. Phrases use these in formal emails, meetings, or professional discussions. I wanted to follow up on Example 1. I wanted to follow up on our discussion about the marketing plan. Example 2. I wanted to follow up on your request from last week. As per our discussion. Example 1. As per our discussion, I've updated the schedule. Example 2. As per our discussion, the design will be finalized by Monday. 7. For your reference. Example 1. For your reference, I've attached last year's report. Example 2. For your reference, here's the updated contact list. At your earliest convenience. Example 1. Please send the signed document at your earliest convenience. Example 2. Kindly review the proposal at your earliest convenience. Shy. Going forward. Example 1. Going forward, all requests must be submitted via the online form. Example 2. Going forward, let's have weekly check-ins. To the best of my knowledge. Example 1. To the best of my knowledge, the shipment has already been dispatched. Example 2. To the best of my knowledge, there are no pending issues. Expressing subtle emotions and reactions. These are the phrases that help you react in a way that feels natural, sophisticated, and emotionally intelligent. I can't help but feel that expresses a personal emotional reaction without sounding too direct. Example 1. I can't help but feel that we're rushing this decision. Example 2. I can't help but feel that we're missing an opportunity here. It caught me off guard when describes surprise in a polite way. Example 1. It caught me off guard when they announced the change. Example 2. It caught me off guard when she resigned so suddenly. Fra. It struck me that introduces an observation or realization. Example 1. It struck me that the new campaign is very similar to our old one. Example 2. It struck me that we might need more research before proceeding. So, I was under the impression that gently corrects misinformation. Example 1. I was under the impression that the meeting was scheduled for tomorrow. Example 2. I was under the impression that we had already finalized this. Fike. It's a bit concerning that highlights a worry without sounding overly negative. Example 1. It's a bit concerning that our response time has slowed. Example 2. It's a bit concerning that we haven't heard from the supplier. 6. What surprises me is draws attention to something unexpected. Example 1. What surprises me is how quickly the market reacted. Example 2. What surprises me is that the budget is already exhausted. Tell. I can see why you'd think that. Acknowledges someone's perspective before adding your own. Example 1. I can see why you'd think that. But the data tells a different story. Example 2. I can see why you'd think that. The headlines can be misleading. Category 8. Storytelling and conversation flow. These phrases are the glue that keeps conversations engaging and stories easy to follow. That reminds me of links to a related idea or story. Example 1. That reminds me of a client we worked with last year. Example 2. That reminds me of something my mentor used to say. Speaking of which, smooth transition to a related topic. Example 1. Speaking of which, have you heard about the new policy? Example 2. Speaking of which, we should check the delivery schedule. You know what's interesting? Builds curiosity before sharing a fact or story. Example 1. You know what's interesting? Our best-selling product wasn't even planned. Example 2. You know what's interesting? More people attend the evening classes. As it turns out, reveals an unexpected twist or conclusion. Example 1. As it turns out, the solution was simpler than we thought. Example 2. As it turns out, they had been planning the merger for months. The funny thing is, adds a touch of humor or irony. Example 1. The funny thing is, we almost didn't launch that feature. Example 2. The funny thing is, the ICA client ended up loving the original design. Long story short, summarizes while keeping engagement high. Example 1. Long story short, we met the deadline with hours to spare. Example 2. Long story short, the deal went through successfully. Chia. And before I forget, keeps the conversation flowing while remembering details. Example 1. And before I forget, please send me the updated file. Example 2. And before I forget, the meeting room has been changed. Category 9. Nuanced closing and professional sign-offs. These are phrases that help you wrap up conversations, presentations, or written communication smoothly. Hi. I appreciate you bringing this up. Acknowledges contributions positively. Example 1. I appreciate you bringing this up. It's worth discussing further. Example 2. I appreciate you bringing this up. It helps us stay proactive. Let's circle back to this later. Delays a topic without dismissing it. Example 1. Let's circle back to this later once we have the updated numbers. Example 2. Let's circle back to this later after we review the client feedback. 7. That's all for now on this. Signals closure in a friendly way. Example 1. That's all for now on this. We can revisit it next week. Example 2. That's all for now on this. Let's move on to the next item. I'll leave you with this thought. Creates a memorable ending. Example 1. I'll leave you with this thought. Small changes add up over time. Example 2. I'll leave you with this thought. Every challenge is an opportunity. If you need anything further, keeps the door open for communication. Example 1. If you need anything further, just let me know. Example 2. If you need anything further, my team is here to help. 6. Let's wrap it up here. Direct but friendly closure. Example 1. Let's wrap it up here so everyone can get back to their work. Example 2. Let's wrap it up here and reconvene tomorrow. And there you have it. 60 advanced English phrases that can take your communication from good to truly nuanced and impressive. You've now learned expressions for handling disagreements gracefully, persuading with subtlety, adding emotional depth, guiding a conversation, and closing professionally. The key to mastering these phrases isn't just memorizing them, it's about using them naturally in your day-to-day interactions. That means trying them out in conversations with colleagues, inserting them into your emails, and even practicing them aloud until they feel like second nature. One powerful way to make these phrases stick is through contextual practice. For example, don't just say, "I understand your point, however," in isolation. Imagine you're in a team meeting where opinions clash, and you need to soften your disagreement. Similarly, phrases like "long story short" work best when you've actually been telling a long story. Remember, nuanced. English isn't about showing off, it's about clarity, respect, and connection. The more you fine-tune your language, the more confident you'll sound, and the more people will value what you have to say. So here's my challenge for you. Pick 5 of today's phrases that you've never used before and commit to using them this week. The moment you start applying them, you'll notice the difference in how others respond to you. If you found this lesson valuable, make sure you subscribe so you never miss out on our deep dive English tips, and give this video a like to let me know you want more advanced phrase breakdowns. And if you have a favorite phrase from today's list, or one you think should be on the next list, drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. Your journey to mastering nuanced English doesn't end here. This is just the beginning. Keep practicing, stay curious, and soon you'll find that expressing complex thoughts in English feels as natural as breathing. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep learning, keep improving, and keep speaking with confidence.